Hey everyone, in this demo I'm going to walk you through the MVP of MyTerms, our browser extension that intercepts cookie banners, applies your personal privacy rules, and converts every consent decision into a hashed contract that can be written to the blockchain. So here's the service console. This console is really helpful for developers and power users. It shows all the live events the extension is detecting, cookie banners, consent prompts, trackers being blocked, any consent actions being automatically handled. You'll see it. Here's a quick pop-up. I'll click on open the dashboard. Right at the top is the timeline, a chronological feed showing the websites I visited earlier today and what MyTerms detected. You can see some sites required almost no tracking permissions, while others tried to push much more aggressive cookie policies. All the way between the sites that are actually push those aggressive tracking policies down to analytics and preferences. Those are all part of the initial dashboard, where you can definitely see from a privacy analytics, the engine gives each site a basic privacy score based on how many trackers they request, whether they offer simple rejection option, whether they're attempting to overwhelm the user with choices. These analytics gives some quick sense of respects your privacy and who really doesn't. So let's view a couple of websites. These are general sites, retail blogs, news summaries, where most cookie banners only ask for strictly necessary permissions. Watch the extension service console on the right, and you'll see MyTerms and intercept banners and automatically apply my default strictly necessarily only profile. No clicking on pop-ups. MyTerm handles everything for me in that nature. So now let's take it up a level. I'm heading to a few larger journalism sites that often use very complex CMP vendors with dozens of nested consent categories. As the page loads, notice how my MyTerms immediately begins parsing the banners. These CMP will contain 20 to 30, sometimes over 50 distinct consent options, everything from data brokers to fingerprint printers. Instead of making you click through multiple menus, MyTerm applies the rules from your profile automatically. You'll see the dashboard after the several new consent will have several new consent contract hashes have been added. Now, as you can see, I'll jump on the dashboard and you can see new consent events listed right here. Each one represents a hash consent contract generated from your MyTerms profile, the site's policy, and the timestamp. They're all queued up for the optional blockchain commit if you want to get that in there as well. As you can see, I'll show a couple more sites purposely designed to be overwhelming. You'll probably seen these a couple of times. I'll go to those next. As you can see, we'll have to address the consent. When we do address the consent, we'll say what we're looking for. Don't sell my information. Again, overwhelming, but it is saved in my profile. And if you'll notice in the back, the service window actually was taken on and accepted that policy. Let's go to a couple other ones. So as you can see, I accepted that one. It actually shows it in the policy itself. All right, looking at the dashboard, let's go look at that consent that I just accepted. As you can see right there, there's the one I accepted, and it pushes the hash and the timestamp on that one. So over time, as the ones I have accepted and the ones that have high tracking starts being tracked here in the My Sites, so it shows consent exceptions that went into play for these particular sites, as well as you can see the privacy scoring that's going on now. Let's go back to the dashboard and open up the preferences. Here you can define your My Terms profile. This is your personal privacy policy you broadcast to all websites. Strictly necessary is always locked on. Sites can't disable core functionality. But from here you can choose different behavior, reject all, deny all. These settings determine how the extension auto-negotiates consent. Now let's visit some university websites. These often have heavy marketing tracking. They want to retarget prospective students, send CRM IDs, or partner with marketing agencies. So watch the service console here, see how many consent categories are loaded, and the extension is flagging this in real time. Now, going to visit one of these major information brokers, one of these sites that loads dozens of vendors at once. Watch the service console, look how many individual consent objects are being injected into this page. You'll see device identifiers, data sharing permissions, vendor IDs, sometimes over 100 on a single banner. My Term captures each of these and generates a single aggregated consent contract hash so that you have a verifiable record of exactly what the site demanded. After building all those different consent contracts and hashes, let's go ahead and go to the blockchain dashboard. You'll see all the queued consent contracts that were generated from our browsing session. I'll click on the commit to blockchain. This pushes the hash contracts to our MVP smart contract. The commits require only one wallet signature per batch, preventing pop-up fatigue. And that's the current My Terms extension MVP. I've showed live detection, automated privacy controls, contract hashing, privacy analytics, and on-chain consent publishing. This is the first step towards a user-owned, enforceable, transparent internet where your terms, not someone else's, define your rights. Thanks for watching.